And first this morning, Congressman Kevin McCarthy was unanimously reelected as leader of the House Republicans this week after the GOP flipped 12 seats and diversified victories for incoming women, veterans, and minorities. These wins putting him on track to retake both the majority and the Speaker's gavel in 2022, something he says will likely happen. Leader McCarthy joins me right now. Congratulations, Congressman, and good morning to you.
Good morning, Maria, and thanks for having us back.
So first, assess the situation for us after 12 flipped seats. What does the new face of the House Republicans look like?
Well, the faces looks very tremendous. I mean, we've had more women than at any time serving in Congress. The Republican Party really have made great gains. Not only did we flip 12, there are 4 more races out there, and we're ahead in all 4 of them. So I expect as the week progresses that we'll end up somewhere around 212, 213 seats. It only takes 218 for a majority. This will be the closest of a majority that at any time since World War II. And really, nobody saw this coming. The American people have now rejected Nancy Pelosi and the Democrat socialist policies. The next 2 years are going to be about the Republican commitment versus the Democrats' agenda.
So how does that play out in real time then? Tell me about what that gives you as a party in terms of potential votes, in terms of actually impacting policy that will impact the rest of us.
Well, when we talk about policy, another reason why the Democrats lost, their agenda to defunding the police just didn't play. Where the Republicans had a commitment to America, to make our streets safe, to defeat this virus, to rebuild our infrastructure, to end our dependency on the China infrastructure. That's the agenda we will move forward, and we'll be looking to get 5 to 6 more Democrats to join with us, and then we'll be able to run the floor. That's the difference. We have a commitment. Theirs has a simple agenda that defunds the police, discredits and just the American public, and I just don't see that that sells going forward. This is socialist agenda.
So tell me about what this means for your potential of becoming the Speaker in 2022. First of all, Nancy Pelosi has said repeatedly over these last couple of weeks that they have a mandate. Do you believe there is a mandate? And Congressman, have you spoken with Speaker Pelosi?
Well, there is no mandate. If there's a mandate, the American public has rejected the socialist agenda and defunding of the police. Remember, we are 5 seats away from winning the majority. But what you will find at the end of the day is there are 18 Democrats who have won a re-election with 52% of the vote or less. I believe at the end of the day we will gain the majority next time, and we could actually run the floor this time through our commitment to America. I have not spoken to the Speaker. I have called her and left her a message. I've spoken to the Majority Leader numerous times, and this is the real problem. Here we have a COVID challenge out inside this country. Nancy Pelosi for the last 6 months has said it's better to do nothing than something. Her own members lost over her policies. There are 23 Democrats who have signed a letter back in September who said if Nancy Pelosi would not come to an agreement that they would sign a discharge petition. And what that means to your viewers is we could actually bring legislation to the floor around Nancy Pelosi that would be the PPP for the small business. Those people who are employed by small businesses can get paid because there's $138 billion just sitting there. So instead of Nancy Pelosi holding everything up, just as she won't let it go through the American public, she doesn't want to talk about coming to an agreement, something that would be stronger for the American public. The Democrats have just lost in this election, and the Republicans come January have the momentum to actually run the floor because our ideas are stronger and reflect the American public's views.
Well, we're going to talk about that because now there's a lot of worry about voter fraud, as you know, and there will likely be another recount in Georgia. If we were to see voter fraud and then the Democrats take the Senate, you're going to see a very different policy agenda than the Republicans being in charge, right?
Yeah, very big challenge here, what's happening in Georgia. Everybody should be paying attention. And to watch the Democrats publicly say they want to cheat, that they want to move into the state just to vote to determine an outcome, that should not be allowed. What else we should find is all these irregular activities that have happened in this election, we should correct and not allow this to move forward. Every voice should be heard. Every vote should be counted. Every recount should be verified. And every legal challenge has a right to be heard. We've done this for 200 years. Why would we stop now? And you have 2 U.S. Senate seats, and you have the Senate majority in peril right now on this election that's coming up January 5th. This is where the focus should be, and we should be able to win those 2 seats, because what would that mean? Socialized medicine would end. Defunding of the police would not move forward. Chuck Schumer, when he's screaming there, we have Georgia, then we control the world, or change the world, that is really what is at play right here for the next few weeks.
Yeah, he said we take Georgia and then we change America. And I know that that would also lead to the world as well. But Congressman, I want to go back to 2 things that you said. First of all, you haven't spoken to Nancy Pelosi, I understand, in several months. Has it been a year that you haven't had a straight-on conversation with Nancy Pelosi?
No, I've talked to her within the year, but this is a real challenge. I've called her after the election. The majority leader called and congratulated me on the victories, and we've talked about the agenda moving forward, Steny Hoyer and I, and that's what you need to have inside Congress. When the elections are over, you're going to have to find a way that you move forward. We have different philosophies, and we're going to keep those philosophies, but we're going to find a way that we can work for the American public. The Speaker, just as she said in the past that doing nothing is better than something, the only challenge that's being held up for those who are unemployed, for those small business workers who need the money, who have a dream that they find that could end if they don't have resources and help, is really stuck with Nancy Pelosi. All the other times we've been able to do a CARES Act and others. But the Speaker wants to put that socialist agenda her way or no way, and she's said it time and again. That's become a real challenge, but I believe in this last election they rejected that view. They rejected the view of Nancy Pelosi. And remember, she still needs 218 votes on the floor, and there are 10 Democrats who got reelected who did not vote for her last time. So if 10 Democrats, those same 10, vote against her, she will not be Speaker.
So real quick on the COVID relief, do you expect anything this year during the lame duck session? Should we expect more stimulus coming?
Well, the American public should expect it out of their elected officials. There are 23 Democrats who signed a letter in September who said they would sign the discharge petition if they had no recourse with Nancy's actions. Well, now is the time. I'm right here in D.C. today. If they signed it, we could get it out in 1 day. That's the difference. We are ready to act, and willing to work with anybody. We just have a Speaker who believes nothing is more important than something.
All right, we will leave it there. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Of course, we'll be following it and watching you throughout. Congressman Kevin McCarthy. We'll see you soon, sir. Thank you.